All right, welcome back. Graham Harvey again joining us with our Nicholls State University. And we're talking about e-learning, online courses, Nicholls State University. And Ms. Becky LeBlanc, I wanted to ask you a question about that. And is there a certain, I guess, typical type student that might get a little more interested in the online course? I think you kind of alluded to that, yeah.
In the early days, in 2000, basically it was what we call the non-traditional student, a person who had been out of school for a while, in other words, graduated from high school but had not gone directly to college, or maybe started college and didn't go back. And so they worked during the day. The women had children at home maybe and weren't working. And the non-traditional students, of course, are, because of their maturity level, jumped right in. They didn't have any problems, basically, with the self-discipline that it kind of takes. But now, I would say, Andy, don't you think we've probably got about 50% of both, traditional students and the non-traditional students. Traditional students would be those who are actually enrolled at Nicholls on a regular basis, but they take an online course because it fits into their schedule.
Right.
It might be because they also, a lot of our students have part-time jobs, even if they are your traditional student, to pay for college.
Right.
And so by taking an online course, they can perhaps work all afternoon and just take courses on campus in the morning. It allows them to finish faster because then they can take a course that they wouldn't have been able to schedule. So it's both kinds of students, and basically it's not necessarily all, totally self-directed students. Some of them will come and ask about it because it's a little scary to think that you're taking a course without a teacher, but that's really not what it is.
Right.
We are very, very involved in the learning process. It's just that we're not face-to-face.
Sure.
And I think our young students nowadays are so totally comfortable with typing in answers, questions, answers, discussion. They do it anyway. So it's really not hard for them at all. Some of the non-traditional students, especially one that I'll talk about a little bit later, when they're 60 or 70 years old, they didn't grow up with computers. So it's a little bit more of a challenge, but they catch on and love it. Basically, a lot of different students from a lot of different walks of life and a lot of different ages.
And also I want to add, about 5% of our online students live beyond 100 miles from Nicholls campus, which is what we're trying to reach, the true distance students. Because I know we have students from out of state. I know in Washington State we have students serving in Iraq that take online classes at Nicholls. And I don't know if you had any students from out of state, but like I said, 5% are 100 miles or more. So these students can't really commute to campus. So online learning is the really only way they can do it.
Well, it leads to the question, what sort of response have you gotten from your students with online learning at Nicholls?
I actually brought a couple of statements. These were things that were on the discussion board. Discussion board is where I post a forum and students respond to it. And this was actually the last forum I posted in my short story and novel class. And it was addressing some of the feminist literature we had read. And I posted a question that said, is Mrs. LeBlanc feminist? Because I thought some of the guys thought I was. But what they started, as we got through all this, and I mean, it's fabulous. The students are so honest and open. And I have two things I was going to read to you, which in their answering that, they addressed the course itself and what it had done. The first one is from a non-traditional student. This is a 70-year-old grandmother who decided to take an online course just because she wanted to see what, just for fun.
Right.
She will be graduating at the end of the spring.
How about that?
So it's amazing. And this is what she said. It has indeed been a fabulous class, and you have proven your point about an internet course being just as good as one in class. My vote for this class is it has been better because we all got to discuss the topics and there isn't enough time in a classroom setting for that. We also spoke freely, which many won't do in class. To the rest of the class, enjoyed hearing your points of view. Guys, don't give up just because you were outnumbered. Your responses were fair, valid, interesting, and usually added a great deal to the discussion. Oh. The other one is from a traditional student, and I would say this young lady is, probably in her mid-20s, okay? This is to everyone. I wanted to say that I really enjoyed this class, and for me to say that really means a lot. I don't really normally like school or reading, but this class has been extremely interesting for me. I couldn't wait to get on the discussion board to see what the new posts were. Also, I am not someone who really reads a lot, but I have loved all of the stories and the novels we read this semester. I wanted to ask you, Ms. LeBlanc, for suggestions of other literary works like these, because I really enjoyed them and would like to read more similar ones. Thanks for everything from everyone in the class, as well as Mrs. LeBlanc. I loved reading everyone's posts and seeing all the different ideas.
Very good. Yeah, I tell you, you can tell that they really get into it.
They really do.
Yeah, and I also want to add that my office evaluates these classes every semester. We give the students a questionnaire to fill out. And overwhelmingly, they all like these classes. They all think they're thorough. And some people make fun of hard to believe. They say that these classes, online classes, are more work than a face-to-face class. I know the misnomer out there is that taking an online class is easier. Well, the students say in the surveys that it's actually more work than a face-to-face class. So they are thorough, valid courses we're creating here.
Let me get both of you your viewpoint on this. I mean, we've obviously come a long way, but what's the future? I mean, is there for online courses, is there more to it?
It's going to grow. I mean, it's already exploding. Yeah. The numbers of students who are trying to get into online courses, we don't even have enough courses for them to all register. Yeah. And I think a lot of what you said, Andy, is so true. There was a misconception about what that meant. It really doesn't mean teaching yourself at all. Yeah. And what I found in the discussions is that in a classroom, there are those who are just timid and watching all these people and raising their hand they can't do. Right. If they can talk online, they say things that they might not have had the courage to say.
Absolutely.
And you don't get monopolized. You know, in every classroom there's one or two who take over everything. Yeah. That doesn't happen in an online class. Right. So I think it's going to get much bigger. I mean, it's already, I think Andy Mitten passed our expectations.
Well, this semester we have 66 online classes. We started today. And we have about 1,300 online students. So our numbers have grown each semester. And if you know 20-year-olds and 18-year-olds today, they embrace technology. They're online, so we kind of have to meet them online as well. I don't see where it's going to get rid of the bricks and mortar and take away the schools. You're always going to need buildings. You're always going to need teachers. But if the students are going to online, look at the University of Phoenix. They're going there for a reason because it's convenient and there's a place for it. So if we offer it, they'll come. So it's going to keep growing and growing.
How can our viewers learn more about e-learning at Nicholls?
Well, they can go to our website, which is nichols.edu/online. And you can go there, there's information about the classes, there's all the classes we have to offer, you can see them, and also my contact information at the bottom. At the bottom, you can contact me, and I'll respond to it quickly, phone, email, either one, come in person. But that's the site, go to it, and it's a good head start.
Great.
All right, very good. I want to thank y'all so much for kind of informing us about that very interesting topic.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Sure. Graham, as always, good to see you again.
Sure is. Thank you very much.
Great guest here tonight. We really appreciate it. What we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to do a little weather, and we're going to have some sports. So we'll be right back.